So we got the wealth mindset, right? Before we dive in to the mechanics of taxes and investing, we need to understand the rules the wealthy play by, right? And we need to understand that a lot of times W-2 workers or any workers in the world right now play by these set of rules, right? Uh, a lot of us don't even understand these set of rules, right? So, we want to present it to you, just so you can internalize it and see if you are a part of this, right? Which I'm pretty sure you are, but you'll see for yourself. So, so we need to understand the rules the wealthies play by, because the game is already being played, whether you're aware of it or not, right? Whether you're an active participant or not. Um, so, all right. So we have the cash flow quadrant, right? This cash flow quadrant, it was introduced to me, I think, to the world by, I don't know if he's an economist, but this guy, Robert Kiyosaki. Um, and he's an entrepreneur. And so he lets us know that most entrepreneurs are not actually business owners in the truest sense, right? So just in saying that, so a plumber who does all the plumbing, I'm sorry, a plumber who does all the plumbing himself is simply self-employed, right? He doesn't actually own a business. He owns a job, right? Not a business. So the goal is to build a structure that works while you don't, right? So ultimately, the highest position in this quadrant is the investor, right? Earning money passively, where your assets generate income around the clock, regardless of whether you show up or not. And so that plumber, if the weather's bad, he can't get money. If he gets hurt on a job, he can't get money. There's so many factors that exist that can prevent him from earning the living that he needs to earn. And so, because he can't function without his arms and legs working for him, he doesn't truly have a business, right? He's truly self-employed, right? And so my my mother is an acupuncturist, so she has a business, acupuncture practice, right? And she didn't become an actual business owner until she started to make money from other practitioners utilizing her space, right? Um, so now she has a business that can run and function without her labor alone, right? And so there's various degrees of that, but that's just like a simple example, right? And so when we look at the quadrant, um, so we see that first we have employees, right? Earn income, right? And this is on the active side. This is on the active side. We have active and we have passive. And so an employee is an active worker, earning his income, right? Then you have self-employed business brand income, right? And so this is a little bit more passive, right? A little bit more passive, a little more control, right? But it's still active labor. Because like I said, if you don't work, if you don't, if the plumber doesn't plumb, then there's no money being generated, right? So we move down to the lower half of the quadrant, right? The passive, the passive quadrant. And this is where, so for lower control, you have business owners, right? I say lower control because they are still, they are still dependent on a boss, right? That boss is their customers, because if their customers don't come, then there's no money to generate, right? So everybody is dependent on somebody. But in this quadrant, right, you have the ability to make money passively, because you have the ability to actually not labor on in that business or on that job, right? You have other employees to do it for you. And so this is passive income. It's a little lower in control because your constituents, your customers have the maximum control over how much you make and, how things run. On the other side of this, you have investors, right? Investors is where we all need to be moving towards, right? Because you have the highest level of control, and it's the most passive income that you can earn, right? And so when we talk about generational wealth, like I said before, is created through investments, right? And so we have to be actively in the practice of understanding investments, looking for investments, and participating in investments as well.